Okay, our beloveds, so today is another topic on hand, and that is finances. So now, our question is, how many of you are struggling with finances? Just about everyone, but those who are extremely wealthy, let's be honest. The top 1% and above are doing pretty damn fine. And the rest of you, well, you're struggling. So now, why is this? We are trying to impress upon you who owns you, who controls you, who manipulates you, and who tells you that you are the ones seeking entitlements. But they are the ones who benefit off of catastrophe, right? Every time a traumatic event occurs, who benefits and who survives by barely hanging on to a shoestring, right? And some, let's be honest, don't even survive at all. Well, this should be a clue and a cue that you are top heavy, because when catastrophes happen, the resources of the community should be tapped into in order to assuage everybody else's struggles and suffering. But that's not happening. During times like this, the upper crust continues to rise. And the breadcrumbs of life, they get swept away and thrown into the trash. So we are allowing this catastrophe to play out as it is until you, humanity, sees reality for what it is. That those who benefit when a catastrophe occurs are controlling the process. Because if they didn't, you would all have more resources available to you to help to lift the tide so that all of you would rise up and not just those who are at the top. Now, you can argue that they're smarter, they're better educated, they have put better mechanisms into place, that they work harder than you do. There are lots and lots of explanations as to why they find themselves in that position, but the reality is because they are not willing to share their resources with the collective when calamities and catastrophes occur. It's that simple. How many of them do you see digging into their resources and giving freely to those, individuals as well as organizations, to help to rise the tide? Very few. Many are sitting there gloating about how that they have figured out the loopholes in such a process to make even more money while not really feeling compassion for the suffering of others that forces them into a construct. So, for example, local resources are shutting down. Kmart's are shutting down or have shut down. Small ma and pa shops are shutting down. Businesses that can't meet the essential worker or essential business requirement are shutting down, literally. They're closing their doors forever. Yet businesses like Amazon are taking up the slack. And so what does this mean? That the investors in Amazon are making money in rising stock prices because there's less diversity in options. It is becoming a monopoly because all of the competition is dying. And yet those investors who have invested in Wall Street are the ones who are making money off of the pain and the suffering of so many others. Now, this is the business model that you all have selected, corporatocracy, which allows those few at the top to control the mechanism by which you live. And you will continue down this path until you make a change. And how do you make a change? by your voting power, by your buying power, and by your neighborliness. You can offer to go shopping for your neighbors from local stores. You can offer to run errands for people so they don't need to purchase it online. You can help the elderly, right? And you can just simply give back within your community. Now you wonder, and another is wondering too, how does helping your neighbors keep the big boys like Amazon from winning? Well, this is what we tell you, and it is very simple. It's an energetic thing. The more you disconnect from your neighborly involvement, the more you're willing to shop from a warehouse where they literally just drop it at your doorstep. It's an energetic exchange, believe it or not. However, when you get involved in your community again by shopping locally, right? Groceries and your non-perishables and things like that, your clothing, if you can get them locally, it provides more jobs locally and takes the power away from Amazon. But the energetic piece of it is more important, which is to recreate an energetic connection with your community. To once again, to the extent possible, enjoy the interconnectivity that you get from shopping versus just placing an order through Amazon and having it shipped to your door. Begin to invest again in the community connection, in the community resources, in the community love fest, and most importantly, in the community respectability. And what do we mean by respectability? To respect the value and the importance of your community. Otherwise, you will all end up living in little pods where you just have everything shipped to your home. You open your door, you bring it in, and you will lose all connectivity with anybody else. And you need to remember you are a herd of people. Animals such as horses, cows, dogs, even cats, they do better when they have a herd around them because it creates a sense of belonging. And that is what we desire for humanity to get back to. So, going back to our original premise, how do you fight off this lack of financial resources? You start by investing again within your immediate community. Go out for walks. Ask your neighbors if you can put the trash out for them, or if you can run errands for them, or just do anything for them. Do it for yourself. Go out and meet people once again and enjoy the process of talking to people, connecting to people, and not for the sake of shopping, but literally for the sake of communion. Because within this space, your energies overlap, and you create a bigger energy field of love, respect, and unity. And so it is. Namaste.